Hey guys, welcome to the channel where we talk about all things tech. In today's video, I'm going to take you guys through the AWS console. I'm going to show you how to create an account, how to secure it properly, and some of the best practice things you should do as soon as you have an account set up. So if you're new to the cloud and you want to learn more, keep watching. Alright, let's create our AWS account. So we're going to go to Google and type in AWS sign up. Get a bunch of results and we'll click on create account. And we've got a nice little sign up button here that we can click on. This will take us to a portal that looks similar to this. Now in here, we are going to enter the email address we want to use, give it an account name, and click verify. I've already run through this, so I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to take a look at the AWS sign up instructions for you guys. Okay, so once you've entered in your email address, your account name, and you've verified your email, you'll be then asked to create a password. Now this is incredibly important. Keep this password safe. Don't repeat this password anywhere and make sure it's a very strong password. Preferably chuck it into a password manager hidden behind a two-factor authentication. If somebody compromises this account, they've got complete and total control over your AWS account, which is very, very bad. So I can't stress how important it is to keep this password safe. Next up, you'll add your contact information and then a payment method, so like a credit card, debit card, that kind of thing. Verify your contact details. Now, when it comes to an AWS support plan, because we're just mucking around and having a bit of fun and learning, we don't need one. Obviously at work, working in a large enterprise, they absolutely do need to pay for AWS support because it's very critical then. And then you wait for your account to activate. It can happen within hours, but it can take up to a day. So once we've got our account, we've got our username and password, this is how we sign in. In the top right, we've got a little button that says sign in. This will take you to the login page. And it'll give you an option to sign in as root user or IAM user. We'll touch on the difference later in this video. For right now, click on root user, enter in your email address, click next. It'll then prompt you for your password, give it your password and log in. Once you log into the console, you'll see something very similar to this, like a welcome screen and a couple of dashboards. Some things to note about the console. In the top right-hand corner, you've got what we call regions. I'm currently in the Sydney region, and this is just areas of the world where you can deploy resources to. So if you're in America, for example, you should be using the regions that are closest to where you or your users are that you intend to deploy resources for. For me, because I'm in Australia, I'm using the Sydney region. Now, the first thing you want to do is enable two-factor authentication on your root user account. So what you do is in the top right-hand corner, you click on security credentials. This will take you to the IAM console. And in here, scroll down to multi-factor authentication. I have already set it up, but you should have a button that will let you enable it. Click it. It will give you a QR code to scan, and then use something like Google Authenticator, scan the QR code. And what that will do is every minute it will generate a 6-digit code that you then have to enter in. So if you want to log into your root user account, you need your username, your password, and that two-factor authentication code, which is incredibly important because if somebody finds your login details, they still won't be able to get in without that two-factor authentication. So make sure you enable it. Once you've done that, we're going to head over to users, and we are going to click on add new user. Give it a username. I'm going to click both of these and I'm going to generate a password, and you can force it to create a new password at login. Next, head over to permissions. Now, this is going to be the account that you log in to do everything. So give it full administrator access and full billing full access. Go to next tags, next review, and then click on create user. You can then download your credentials or you can click show for your password. The access key and the secret access key is used for command line access. We'll talk about that in a later video, but for now, just copy these details, store them somewhere safely. All we need is the username and the password. So what we're going to do is we're going to sign out of our root user account. We're going to click on sign in, and we're now going to enter in our 12-digit AWS account ID. And we're going to enter the username that we just created and the password that we just created as well. It may prompt you to change your password, but once you've logged in, we're gonna do exactly the same thing that we did before. We're gonna head over to the top right-hand corner. We're gonna click on security credentials, and we're going to set up multi-factor authentication. So click enable multi-factor authentication. I've already done it for this particular account. I wanna quickly explain what we did and why. We created our account. We set up multi-factor authentication on our root user account. We created an entirely new user account and did the same on that one. So why don't we use the root user account? View that as like your master account. Use it once for your first time setup, and in case anything goes wrong, if your other user accounts get compromised, you can always log in as your root user and regain control of your account. If you lose access to your root user account, well, then you're stuffed. And so from a security point of view, that's why we rarely log in as root user. So from now on, whenever you access the AWS console, make sure you log in as that new user account that you created. Okay, so we've set up our account, we've set up some two-factor authentication. Next is to head over to billing. What we're going to do is set up a couple of alarms so that if we go over X amount of dollars, we'll get a notification. Because as you're learning and trying things out in AWS, it's quite easy to have unexpected charges. Now they do have quite a generous free tier where you don't get charged for anything, like you can run a very small server for up to a year without paying anything. But by setting up these automated alerts, it just helps prevent future headaches later down the road. Imagine if you were running something in the background, you didn't know about it, and you checked your console 3 months down the track and you realized you've spent hundreds of dollars that you didn't expect to. This is going to avoid that. Okay, I'm in the wrong section. We need AWS budgets. Now this is a relatively new feature. I haven't mucked around with this. Let's go create a budget, a cost budget, my budget, give it a name. Okay, so every month, starting from August, my budget is going to be $5 across all AWS resources. So that's my budget, and now you set up an alert threshold. So when I hit 100% of that budget, I want to send an email to whatever your email is. Click on next, next, and create budget. Now, whenever I spend over $5, I'll automatically get an email notification to let me know, hey, I've gone over that. So I hope that gave you a great introduction into AWS and getting started. If you would like to learn anything in particular, please leave a comment down below and I'll make a video on it. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one.